Well, good afternoon, SLAE family. Here we are on a wonderful Tuesday with a special guest tuning in from Illinois today. And for all of you who like to help people, you are going to love today's special guest. And if you're a shoe girl, this will be especially meaning for you as well. So today we have the privilege of being joined by Lydia Dowdill, and she is the Director of Community Partnerships with a phenomenal program called Soles4Souls. So first of all, thank you for being here. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
And I know that you are a really fantastic, passionate force for helping other people. And you're also, for a fun fact, the proud mom of a 3-month-old little crazy puppy, I understand too.
Very crazy, yes.
So we always love to know a little fun thing about you. But to kick off today, some people may have heard of your program and some may not. So would you take a minute and explain a little bit about what Soles4Souls does and how it was founded, a little bit about the background of the program, please?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. I am excited to share this video with my mom later. So I work for Soles4Souls, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization worldwide, but we're based right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. It was founded in 2006, actually as a disaster relief organization. So after it was the Asian tsunami, the original founder got all these footwear brands to come in, and like people donated their shoes. And so it was really just as a disaster relief organization. And still to this day, that's one of the arms that's one of the pillars of the organization. And so there are mainly 2 parts to what we do here. And then we have a lot of little programs underneath them. So one side of it is still that like immediate short-term relief, like you need a pair of shoes, we're going to make it happen. So if an orphanage in Chicago needs shoes, if there's a disaster in the Philippines, we're sending product to Ukraine and Poland right now. And that's where we partner with that's where we partner with retailers like Adidas, New Balance, Stride Right, and we get those shoes in and we're able to freely distribute it to who needs it. And then the other half of the mission is actually where I work. And that's the micro enterprise program. So while the short-term relief, I like to call it like a Band-Aid fix to some problems, but the other side of it, the micro, is the long-term solution. And so that's where we take your all's used shoes. So we take any style, size, type, everything from flip-flops to steel-toed boots, as long as they're in good condition. We try to stay away from lawn mowing shoes, but we ask people to clean out their closets, and instead of throwing them away, instead of letting them sit there for 6 years, we take them, and we have partners all around the world in developing countries. And what they do is they take these shoes and they usually identify women, primarily. Women in these countries are usually the ones that need the leg up, and they teach them how to make small businesses. So they teach them how to, which is what micro enterprise means. So they take them in and they're like, here's how to budget money, here's how to set up shop in an open air market, here's basic fundamentals to business. And then what the women end up selling are your shoes. And so it's a way for them to generate a sustainable income. So while we're always going to go in and be like, you need shoes, we're going to give it to you. In 6 months, when a kid grows out of shoes, the mom's like, I have the cash, I can buy you a pair of shoes now. So that's the side that I get to work on. And so we get to really just ask people for their shoes in very creative ways.
So you're taking sneakers, heels, flip-flops, you said pretty much. Do you take men's shoes and women's shoes, or just women's shoes?
Men's, women's, children's. Yep.
Anything at all. Okay. And I have to ask, because it's the craziest thing. I understand that you'll even take one shoe, and I have to ask about that.
Yes. So the only holdup with that is so if someone comes to me and they're like, oh, I have 5,000 singles, maybe not that. But so in the past, and I think we're looking for a new partner, and I feel like they were in the Philippines. But anyway, what they were doing is we would take all of our used shoes, or all of our single shoes that were used, and we would send them to this partner, and they worked in the rice fields. And so it didn't really matter what kind of shoes these people were wearing, because it was just work shoes. And so they would take like a left black Adidas and then a right Nike black shoe, and then they would be create that pair just so that people could go and work in the rice fields. And so we do accept singles too, as long as it's not upwards of 5,000.
Okay. I don't think anyone's closet's that big. And look, it's kind of all ties into the puppy thing, because if you're watching this and you have a bad little dog that ate one of your shoes, you may throw your other shoe out, not knowing that, look,
Right.
from somebody who has nothing, mismatched is awesome. I mean, it's great to be able to provide anything for people.
For sure. For sure.
Now, you're also partnered with DSW. Can you tell people, everyone knows DSW, but explain that partnership and how that came to be, or how that goes ahead and functions to help you guys?
Yeah, for sure. So DSW has been a lifesaver. They are probably one of two of our largest partners. So they've brought in well over 2 million pairs of shoes. I think there's another 2 million that's going to come in next year, but they actually collect in all of their stores across the United States. So there, if you go in, there's a co-branded box between Soles4Souls and DSW. I don't know the exact specifics as far as their reward system, because I don't have their reward card. I probably should, but I'm pretty sure you get an X amount of DSW points for every pair of shoes that you drop off. I'm just not sure what that number of points is. So it really incentivizes people to bring their shoes in, but you can drop off there. So, but usually we tell people that's just for when you're cleaning out your closet. So you've got like 20 pairs of shoes. Again, it's not for 200 because they don't have, like, they just have a box and they'll ship it into us. So if you've got about 15, 20 pairs, DSW is great. But if you have more than that, we actually have on our website, we have drop-off locations all across the country. And even better, our other partnership, that's one of our largest partnerships and really saved my department, is Zappos. So I don't know if you guys know much about Zappos, but there's a philanthropic arm of Zappos called Zappos for Good, and they actually pay 100% of the shipping. So if, let's say you have 5,000 pairs of shoes, they're going to pay 100% of it to get it to us. So we have a lot of options.
And if somebody knows, DSW is a very popular chain, so that's an easy drop off. If somebody wants to go through Zappos, how do they do that?
Yeah, so our website, soles4souls.org, and I think you had that on the flyer too, but when you go to the website and you click give shoes, it's going to be like, oh, do you want to drop off, put your zip code in, or do you want to ship for free? Click here, and then you can print off as many labels as you need.
Excellent. And if somebody's feeling extra generous, there's also a donate button on there too. So if they just want to support the good cause.
Right.
So
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
No, I was saying, so a lot of people, some people are like, you know what, I love my shoes. I don't want to give you my shoes. I'm like, that's fine. Like, we take money too. And so people make like fundraising pages and, challenge people to donate $5 if they can't donate their shoes. And then we also have like monthly giving programs where you'll be able to learn more of the stories behind the entrepreneurs that are selling your shoes.
Awesome. So if someone's doing spring cleaning or moving, even if they just have like one pair that they could part with to help somebody, or if they've got kids, usually our kids outgrow their shoes really quickly. That's a great resource for you too.
Right. No, for sure. And then a lot of kids have community service hour requirements, or they're in like Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, or they have like bar mitzvah projects, stuff like that. It's a great hosting a shoe drive. And when you sign up to host a shoe drive, you actually get connected with me or someone on my team. And we send you all of our digital posters and flyers, logos, literally anything you would need to host a shoe drive in your community. And then we help coach you on, hey, put boxes in your church or talk to your mom's office and stuff like that.
Perfect.
So they can do a community project.
And do you take athletic shoes too, like cleats or things like that?
Yes, as long as they don't have, I think it's metal spikes, just because that can be kind of dangerous.
Yeah, that could be a little bit dangerous. Now, would you mind sharing a success story or two, or some examples of how your organization makes an impact?
Yeah, for sure. So one of my favorite stories, and I say it all day long because people ask, they're like, I don't really understand micro. And it's cool because I actually got to see this school. And so our nonprofit partner, who's an NGO in Haiti, I think it was one of our first partners for micro. It's called the Haitian American Caucus. Like I said, it's an NGO. And Sam, who's our direct partner there, they do so many different things. And just our shoe micro enterprise is a very small component of what they do. But they're the ones that like train the women, stuff like that, on those selling the shoes. But then they also have a school and they have a feeding program for kids in Haiti. They do all of these things like language, they do STEM stuff. Because the way that it works is that, let's say Sam, which is our partner, will buy the shoes from us for about $1 per pair, because it costs money to ship shoes to Haiti.
Sure.
And keep the water running. Anyway, so he'll get those shoes from us. And then the women are given the shoes on a micro loan. So they're like, okay, we're gonna foot you the bill. It's this bag of shoes is $20. You're gonna go, you're gonna sell it for $50. You just give me the 20 back, there's your profit. So that's usually how it works. And the program has been so successful in Haiti through those women being able to sell the shoes and generate a sustainable income that they were able to build a second story to their school.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really cool. So it's not just, it doesn't just stop, here with the disaster relief, and it doesn't just stop with, the lady in Haiti who's selling the shoes, who's able to provide for a family, but the middleman also is helped a lot too. And so you're not just selling the shoes, but you're also, supporting schools and feeding programs. So that's probably my favorite success story.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's good inspiration to declutter for those of us. I don't know.
For sure.
Well, I wouldn't personally have any experience having way too many pair of shoes. I'm just saying hypothetically, if somebody did.
I still have shoes too, and I feel very guilty about it, but I'm like, oh, they're so cool.
Now you've mentioned a bunch of different things. You have some upcoming programs too. Would you take a second and let everybody know a little bit about those? That would be wonderful.
Yeah. So our main one right now, so like I mentioned, we have 2 different arms of Soles4Souls, and then we build programs underneath them. So we're definitely not stopping here. But our most recent program that we're working on, and it's going to take a couple years, I think it's a couple year initiative because there's a lot, but it's called For Every Kid. And so people can donate to support that program too, to get the shoes where they need to go. But For Every Kid is where we work with, I think they're called like family resource centers inside public schools. And we've done a lot of research, and our goal is to get a brand new pair of branded athletic shoes on the feet of every single homeless child in the country.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's super exciting. It's a very big undertaking. And so we're working with like a lot of partners and brands to figure out how we can get those shoes, because there's a lot of homelessness across the country. And so we want to be able to, get them good shoes that are durable and shoes that are common that other people would have, so that they're not, going to school and they know, that they got the homeless shoes, something like that. And so we're working with big brands to try to make that happen.
So it'll not only address an issue, but it'll keep the young ones from having social embarrassment or awkwardness or anything like that as well.
Right. Yeah. And then we really want to focus on building their confidence. And like most people don't think about that, but it's not just the clothes that you wear, but it's the shoes that you wear too. Like if your shoes are 3 times too small or 3 times too big, or you don't have shoes to play at recess. So we're trying to do what we can in that arena.
That's incredible. Now, I know when we had talked earlier, you have a master's in international business, international relations, correct?
Yes.
And you were thinking about going to law school and made a much better decision. I can make that joke as a lawyer. So but tell me, you've been there for a little over 5 years. What's your favorite thing about working in this kind of an environment and this kind of a project?
So I would say it's the people. So every now and then, you get someone who's like really, really hateful or really not nice. And so my favorite quote I heard from someone years ago is like, the best part of what I do is the people, and the worst part of what I do is the people when they're mean. But it really is my favorite part. So I get to work with people as awesome like you and your group. And then I also get to, write letters of recommendations for Girl Scouts who really wanted a service project. So it's all across the board. And I get to meet a lot of really cool people. I wish it was more in person than it is, but that is definitely one of the coolest things, of being able to answer people's questions, and they go out and spread little seeds to help the mission and like make the world a better place. So it's pretty cool. I feel like I get to be a little bit of a connector there.
Yeah, you are a huge connector, because you never know today, let's say somebody's watching this and then they'll go, okay, well, I want to donate shoes, or I'll drop off something, or I'll donate a little money, or, I've got my kids extra shoes, or wow, my dog ate my one shoe, or all that. But then they may tell somebody who will share somebody else. And that's really the global impact. You do have a butterfly effect going on, since it's international. And once more, how widespread is this? Where do you do this?
So all across the world. We have remote offices in Singapore. We're opening in the Philippines. Like we're all over the place. We're a really small team too. So just our core employees who really are doing these things, I think we're at 60. I think.
Wow, that's it, to do something this big.
Yes. So a lot of people think that we're a lot bigger than we are when they see, like things like DSW and Adidas and stuff. And I'm like, oh no, we're pretty bootstrapped.
That's really incredible that you're able to accomplish that with that small of a staff. That's an enormous undertaking.
Yes,
So-
well, we're hiring. Let me put a plug in there.
Oh, okay. Well, while we're here, what are you looking for? We might as well.
So we are looking for, I've been here for 5.5 years. I've never seen us in need of like having this many positions because we created a lot of positions because we need them, thankfully. So if you go to our website and click join the team, there's actually a list, but the in-person, so like someone to run Texas, so do what I do just in the entire state of Texas on the ground. In Virginia and at our home office in Nashville, we're hiring for those. I'm hiring for somebody to join my team to do this, hire another person. So we've got a lot of on there. So if you guys know anybody, send them my way.
And I have to ask, in this day and age, do they need to live there? Because I know you're working remotely now.
So only the positions that are state specific. So like I think 3 of them, because you would have to run the entire state of Virginia and like do this, but in person. So those state specific ones, you would have to be in person, but all the rest of them are completely remote. So.
Amazing. So if they're inspired, there's a whole new career here for you today. We got a little of everything. And then if you would share your website one more time, I think that would be great for people to be able to access that.
Yes, so it is so it's soles4souls.org, and that's SOLES, the number 4, SOULS.org.
Wonderful. So we'll go ahead and post that. If you are watching this on the Facebook group, then we are very excited because Lydia was kind enough to join the group. So you can post some little comments or questions and she'll check them out. And if you watch this on YouTube, then please feel free to as well comment on there and we'll be checking back and forth. So we really appreciate everything you're doing and we are looking forward to sending some shoes your way. We'll drop them off at DSW and do what we can. But thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love the group. I was scrolling through it, so I will definitely be an active participant. But if anybody has questions, feel free to pop them in there and I'll do my best to answer. But thank you for having me and hopefully we get to connect again soon.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Take care. Thank you so much. And everyone will see you live next week on Tuesday. Take care.